listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
In order to proceed further into integration, we need 3 of these user rights in the Marketing Cloud. We need the system administration rights in the Sales Cloud, and once we have these permissions, and we should be able to proceed further, we just have to go to this URL. We have a developer edition which I have already created, and we also discussed about how we can create it by ourselves. In case if you just probably have to recall, please look at the recorded version that we have in the LMSLD. We go with the production, and once we go to the production, we give the username and password and all of them, and then it will ask us to install it for admin or all users. We went ahead with our administration because only that means should have to configure the Marketing Cloud. Once this is done, this is a third-party access that we have given access. We have to grant access for all of these 3-party access. We simply have to grant it, and this is common that we will have to load for all the installed packages. Even if I try to install any packages in Sales Cloud, it will ask us to grant the access for third party. We just have to give the access here, and then it will take about some time to complete the installation once this is completed. I should be able to see my Marketing Cloud in the Alt tab once it is completed. This is also something that we have configured. And in order to get access to Marketing Cloud, we need to off these permissions. We need to off these permissions, and in order to add these 2 permissions into the user layout, we have also done that in the previous session. We can add 2 of these permissions. Once we add 2 of these permissions to it, we should be able to get access to the Marketing Cloud, and then we have to configure. We did also see how we can configure inside. Once we configure, that should be the final step, like in the Sales Cloud. Now we moved into Marketing Cloud side of it. What we did is we went to a Setup tab. In the Setup tab, we went to a Salesforce integration under Apps. We have Salesforce integration. As we discuss under the Salesforce integration, we will get the small tab to click on Connect. This is already connected because we have already connected this instance with the Sales Cloud. This account we have already connected. We connected both of these accounts yesterday. That's why it says connected, and it says this is already. Once we have this status as a connected, we straight away have to go to a contact builder in the contact builder under the data source. Someone messaged. In file head, can we create no kill? It doesn't work in that way. Once we connect this Sales Cloud instance in the Marketing Cloud, we have to go to a data source. In the data source under the synchronized, we have connected. We have synchronized one of the object into the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. This is my lead object. If I would like to synchronize more objects, like a lead opportunity and all of them, if I just have to click on Setup Object, and then here they should be able to see all of the objects that are already there. Connected instance, I can see plenty of them. I see account campaign, member contact, and we have plenty of them. If I just have to synchronize, I have to just click on synchronize, and then we have one more option here too. Before we synchronize, we just have to tell the system, should I synchronize all of these fields or just only the selected fields? These fields is automatically selected here and we just have to pick up. If there are any extra fields that we need for Salesforce Marketing Cloud, like a first name, last name, mobile number, email address, and all of them, we just have to pick up those fields. Then here should be like take all the records. And should we just take only the records which has been created for the past 2 years, something like that. That's something that we should be able to configure here. And once this is configured and we can click on save and synchronize here, we have a pull schedule. Every 15 minutes, this will be keep on synchronizing the data from Sales Cloud to Marketing Cloud. Once we also click on synchronize, it's synchronizing now. It will take about 2 to 3 minutes. It depends on the data we are synchronizing. If you have 10 million records and 20 million records to be synchronized, it may take about 6 hours, 7 hours, or it may also take like a whole day to synchronize into the Marketing Cloud. It depends on the number of data. Once this is completed, we should be able to see these records into the synchronized data extension. Now I see like a lead object already. Now we are already synchronizing opportunity after a couple of minutes. I should be able to start using this opportunity object here in this implemented data extension as well. I can start using this data extension for sending out my email. This is something that we have covered like far in yesterday's session, like how we can do a real-time integration between a Sales Cloud or Service Cloud. The process is same for Sales Cloud or Service Cloud because the interface is always same for any of this cloud. Only the objects will differ. If it's a Sales Cloud, it's a campaign lead object opportunity on all of them. If it's a Service Cloud, it's a contract order case and solution on all of them. Its integration is same. We just pick up the different object in case if I have to synchronize the Service Cloud. Now, as we discussed, what I would like to focus on today's session is also a little bit important, like on the Automation Studio. Now we have done the integration side of it. I would like to talk about the Automation Studio. In this Automation Studio, what is something that we are going to be planning is like how we can set up the file locations. Firstly, that's really important that I would like to talk about it first. Then proceed further with how we can send the data and how we can receive the data through F2P location and all of them. Before proceeding further, what I'll do is first we'll discuss about the file location. Under the data management, we have a file location. I think we'll also just click here. We have a Marketing Cloud server. This is MC server. Then we have the external system. We would like to send the data and receive this data from two of these platforms now. We can do the API call, and it's not a feasible solution all the times. At the same time, it will also be involved with a lot of development in case if I have to get the data in a real time, it's more or less in a real time from my external system to work in cloud. We cannot always depend on API call because there is also a huge complexity and there's also a lot of challenges because we have to develop the API integration from scratch. It's not a feasible option. They call the times when we have to get the data from a third-party system and whenever we have to send the data to a third-party system. Vice versa. That's why Marketing Cloud has a file location. We call this as FTP. This FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. It's a secure location which we can use it in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Whenever I have to create a location, I can directly use this FTP location. I can send the file to FTP location. A third-party system can pick up the file from there. In case if I have to get the data from third-party system can send the file to my FTP location. From there I can pick up the file into my Marketing Cloud. I can directly import it into a data extension. This is how it works. And Marketing Cloud to FTP location and from FTP location, external system will automatically pick up. And same it goes for marketing for external system to Marketing Cloud. It always places the file in the FTP location. From there we can automatically pick up. We can set up some job in automation. In order to pick up this file, it's like automatically. We don't need to be like man on man, only like pick up every time, it will automatically pick up. That's something that we are going to be doing in the automation. Now this is the complete flow. Now this is a location will be given to each and every Marketing Cloud instance for every business unit. This is a business unit. W leads our and something like that. This is a MAD. Each and every business unit will have a unique FTP locations. Or if I have a 10 business unit and each and every 10 business unit will have a separate FTP locations. In order to get access to the FTP location, there are some credentials which we have. I cannot show this FTP credentials like what we have in this account, a different account. What I'll do is I'm going to directly use these credentials that I have already. This is the credentials. When we go to this FTP accounts, it will ask us to create the user account here. We can simply create the user account. When we create this user account, it will have three of these tabs. Host URL, username, password, and port number. This is something that we will have it. With this information, if I have applications like a FileZilla, this is a very available application that we can use it for accessing the FTP location. All I just have to do is I have to give my host URL. There are plenty of applications that use it. This application name is FileZilla. It's a free resource. I mean, it's an open source that you can download it in the mission. And there are like many applications we have in the market now, like FileHippo, FileZilla. We have a source FT, and we have also some like OpenDeck. There are many applications we have. It's a view like, which is the application that you use to get access to FTP location. But end of the day, it's going to be here same. For any application, it needs a host URL. And here's the username and the password. This is a vote number which is also having. When I give all of this information, when I click on Quick Connect, it will ask us to confirm. They say, and it says a connecting, connecting, connecting. It says connected to this particular location, retrieving listing directory and all of them. And what you see in the side is a remote site inside FTP location. And what we see in the left side is a local system. If I have to just put any files into a remote location, I can just directly drag and drop them. Same thing. I can do it from remote site to this local system as well. This is how we can transfer the files like a vice versa, like using the software called FileZilla. It's very simple software. It's close to 40-50 MB. We can just install it in the local machine and then we can get access to the FTP location directly. And this is how we access the FTP locations. Suppose if I have to, there are only 3 folders in the marketing FTP location import, export and trigger automation. There will be only 3 locations. And we see our beta, lab and NIR reports and all of them. This is all something which has been created by the users. By default, there will be only 3 locations, export, import and trigger automation. Suppose if I have to send any files to import folder, I have to create a separate file location which should send the data to this import folder. I have to create some file location. That's something we are going to see. Great. We were talking about the different locations we have. By default, for all the FT locations, we have only 3 folders. Import, export, trigger automations. Trigger automation folder is something that we don't use it anymore. It's called as a legacy folder. Before, 4 years ago, we used to have only one folder, which is a trigger automation. We will put the file for importing, exporting everything in this trigger automation. It was confusing. And Marketing Cloud has upgraded and they have created 2 of these locations that for import and export separately. If I have to create any subfolders under import or export or under trigger, I can just simply click on. I can click them and click here. I can click on create directory. If I say any folder location here, then I can just simply say some folder, I can create it. In case if I have to send the file to this location, this particular location, I need to create a file location in Marketing Cloud. This file location, send the documents, the files, directly to this location. That's how. Whenever we create a subfolder, something like that, and whenever I have to send the file directly to that subfolder, I have to register that folder in the Marketing Cloud instance all. Now I believe far it's pretty much clear. Please stop me at any point of time if you have any questions. This is how we get access to the FTP server. And again, I'm using this my own personal account. This username credentials will be disabled to very soon. We won't be able to use it. Now the FP location is ready. And this is how in general how we access the FTP locations like in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. If I have to go to a different business unit, that business unit will have a different URL. It will have a different URL. it will have a different password and all of them all. That's something that we have to check with the business administrator. Most of the time, we don't create the FTP accounts all. It's always administrator who will create it for us and they will share this information because it's always a very confidential information that we use it in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud all. We never usually share it. Now let's imagine that we have to send the data to a third-party system. Now let's execute a real-time situation here. Your organization has come up with a Google Analytics very recently, and Google Analytics team is requesting you to send the data on daily basis. They are asking the data like on daily basis, like how many emails we are sending, how many opens that we have, how many clicks we have, how many subscription is happening in as a company. They wanted all of this information in the marketing all. We use this particular FTP location for multiple purpose. It's not only like we use it for Google Analytics, we also use this same FTP locations for transferring the data like multiple leaders, like a customer information, purchase information, like all of the information we made, like have it in the FTP location. I cannot share my credentials with a different team, even within the organization. I cannot share these FP credentials because it's very, very confidential for me. Because we may have all the data in this FTP credentials. Now what I will say is what I will inform the Google Analytics team is you create your own FTP location and give me the credentials because I'll register in my Marketing Cloud instance. In order to register your external FTP location, you just have to click on Create and here the location type. In the location type, we have picked up the external FTP site or SFTP or FTP site. 3 of them are same. This one is at least secured and 2 of them are secured. FTP location. Suppose if I say external FTP location, it will simply ask you for the URL. Let's imagine this is your third party. This is a kind of you. URL and credentials that your third-party system has given you. Just copy this one and then put it and the port number, username and password we have. We put all of this information and give it a name here and then click on Save. Then this file location is registered on your Marketing Cloud instance. Whenever you send the file, you use this file location to send the file. Automatically, Marketing Cloud instance will send the file directly to your this particular location. Very simple and straightforward. We don't need to do any IP integration. We don't need to write any like a VPN calls and all of them. When we send the file, Google Analytics team can just immediately pick up the file. Automatically, they will set up some jobs, pick up the file. They'll start picking up the file. It will import into their system automatically. Same thing. In case if I have to get the data from our third-party location, I can use the same FTP location. Like if I'm getting a data from Google Analytics, I can use this location for import. And then it will import into a system automatically based on the criteria that we set. This is how we register the locations in the Marketing Cloud, especially the external locations. We can also connect the Amazon AWS storage service. In case, if you would like to connect the Amazon storage web service, we need all of this information. ABAS bucket name, like we have a key, an access key, and also a region. We have to give all of this information and we can register in the Marketing Cloud location. Marketing Cloud as a file location. Once we have them, We can do like a get the data and also send the data to this location. Perfect. Apart from this, we have enhanced site import directory. This is very simple. This is an import directory. Import directory. If I click on save and this file location is to send the data to this location. Import directory as this is the location. If I use this location, I'll save this. Whenever I send the data, I'm going to use this file location and it will send the data to this folder, exactly to the import directory. And if I have to send the data, to export directory in your FTP location, you just have to pay to one more location. And here you have to give the export directory. Simple. Here we say export directory. And let's save it. Simple. We can use this file location separately and then we can send the data. What if I have to send the data to a folder that I have created, folder that I have inside this particular directory, main directory? I can just click on this. All I think it's retrieving the data. I just copied. Let's click on create. Here, if I have to send the data exactly to this file location, I just have to use this legacy import directory. And then I just have to save this. No all. This legacy import directory is for this location. You get automation location. For this location, we have to go with the relative location and the FTP site. Here, whatever the location we have copied, just let me. How it really works is, this is the location we have to take it, copy this, and we just have to put the folder location here. Under import folder, it has to go into this particular location. We just have to print this / here, and then we can create a native folder simple. And then we can just simply click on save. This location is now created. I just have to use this location if I open the file into this particular location directly. We cannot all these use this main folder. This main folder, if I see, look at this, we have a plenty of files we have already in this. It will be a little bit confusing whenever we send the data on a daily basis, or our systems will be on creating new files here and there. There's no limitation in FTP location. In my organization, we have some close to probably 3 to 5 GB of data in the marketing in the FTP location. There is no any restriction on data side, how many numbers we can, how many number of files that we can keep, and all of them. It's not at all issue. We cannot keep this for importing a huge data and all of them. This is about the file location. I believe this is pretty much a far clearing file location, especially how we register the new file location and all of them. It will be in the best practice side of it. We never share the credentials. We never share the Marketing Cloud FTP credentials with the external system. There are some organizations which they do it, but whenever, I am doing, the data from a third-party system, or whenever I try to send the data Marketing Cloud data to a third-party system, we'll share them up FTP credentials with them. All ask them you create your own external FTP location and send me the credentials and register in my system, and then I'll send the data to that external FTP location. And this is how we secure the FTP location, because in FTP location you may have all the confidential information. Great, now let's move on to the automation. Under the Automation Studio, let's create an automation. Perfect. Now let's look at the activities that we have in the Automation Studio. First thing, let's talk about the two of the same resources all. And then we'll talk about the actual use cases in the activities all. Schedule as a starting market. When I compare it with Automation Studio and Juni Builder, it has a common functionalities all. Like I can trigger an email from here. I can also send out the SLS. I can also send out the push notification. Everything I can do it from here all. But the Automation Studio, we majorly use it for data processing. We use the Automation Studio for importing the data and exporting the data and all of them all. This is something that we do it all. Now we have two starting sources. One is a schedule. Suppose if I have to send the file and import the file like in imported fashion, I mean the initial fashion, and I can use the schedule as a starting point. I can just configure like the system to starting point as like a tomorrow or today, and I can just define the schedule time here. And based on the schedule, my system will be keep on running again and again, and then it will be importing the data all. It happens in the time frame that we set here. I can here mention that it has to run every hourly basis and all of that. I can just configure everything here. From tomorrow onwards, every 1 hour, it will be keep on running. Every 1 hour, whenever it runs, it will be importing the data to my data extension. Simple and straightforward. This is a schedule, and we use this as a starting point when we know when we have to run this, when we know when we have to run this automation in a regular way. For there are some symptoms. Example, your third-party system says let's imagine that our key lists the third-party system owner and says that he will be sending the data to a marketing cloud to this FTP location on daily basis. Let's say like a subnet. Every time, every day at 7 a.m., he's going to send the data to FTP location. Or what I will do in the marketing cloud instances, I'll set the time, I'll keep the today's time, and then I'll keep it as a 7, probably 7:30. The 7 o'clock, the file is going to be transferred into FTP, location 7:30. I can pick up that file. I can start running into my system all. He's sending the data only on daily basis. Instead of earlier, just move to daily and then it never ends. Every day this automation is going to run and then the file is going to be placed at 7 o'clock. I'm running this automation at 7:30. It will pick up the file to the import activity into the extension all. We jump into these activities in a while, but we'll just understand only the concept here. Now this is how we set up. Suppose now Atlee says, I will send you the file on daily basis, but I cannot give you guarantee that I can send the file at 7 p.m. on daily basis or I may send the data in 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. Or I may send the data like in 11:30 p.m., like in the midnight, or it may be like a 4 p.m. in the evening. He's not sure when the file will be sent to the FTP location, but for sure, like on daily basis, the file will be sent. But he cannot give you guarantee, like when the file will be sent to the FTP location. That's when we use the file location. Here we configure. I can tell the file name here. Suppose if I'm saying like a purchased customers is V. Until unless this file is located in this location, my automation will not start all. It has to exactly. It says like a contains behind with and ends with. I'm using a contains. That means if this file does exist in this location, which I pick up, and then my automation will start. Until unless if this file location does not find, if the system cannot find this file in this location, my automation will not start at all. Or this is how we set up the starting sources all. We use the schedule option as the starting point when you know when the file is going to come to FTP location. If you don't know when the file is going to come to FTP location, it will definitely come on a daily basis. Then we have to use a file drop as a starting point. Or a system will be keep on checking for this particular file in that location. Whenever the file that comes in, immediately my automation will start and then import activity will run and it will import the data. This is how we set up the data transfer between two of the systems. This is very, very important. Schedule and file drop is a really important starting point. That's the very first step that we do. Now let's jump into a real-time use case. Now what I have to do is same concept. Let's take the same concept. Now third-party system like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics is asking you for the data all. You have the data like the tracking information, everything that we have in the Marketing Cloud already. And I need to send this data to a third-party system like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics, any out of Tableau or Power BI, IUB give you any analytics data. They want the data on a daily basis. I don't need to use a file drop here. I can just directly use the schedule option. I'll say like on daily basis, like starting from today, I'll start sending the data at 10 am. Just say, if we go with 9:30, time zone is like, and then this will run a daily basis, and it will never end. Every day, it will be key points in the analytics data to a third-party team. Now what we have to do is extract the data and send the information. We have to use the extract data and then file transfer. These is the two activities we have to create in order to send that file to a third-party system. Now let's click on choose. Let's create the new data extraction activity. Data extraction is one. Here in this file name. Here's a really important part. Now your third-party system owner, like a Google Analytics team, is asking you to send the file. Send the file on a daily basis, but that file needs to be unique always. Suppose if I'm sending my tracking information today, tracking data underscore today's data, and if I have to like pick up the file, like for tomorrow, it has to contain tomorrow's data. And how do we dynamically populate this name? Basically your third-party system is asking for unique data. I mean unique file name like in the FTP location. I can use the post realization that we have here. Suppose here my tracking. This is my file name that I'm going to send it to work to a FTP location. Let's say like a tracking data underscore. I can use this post realization here like 50% percentage here. Remove the command, it doesn't work out. Command space now just added these post realizations here. Tracking data underscore year, month and day. Make sure please always keep this in the capital because it doesn't work out if you keep it in a small. It's case sensitive here only in this file pattern. And say like .sys. This is a file pattern that I'm giving here. How it is going to save in your location? It's going to. This is how we have set up in the FTP location. Once we send the data, you will see that like in 2022, your month is like 03 and day is 08. This is how .sys does. This is how it is going to store the file into your FTP location. In your FTP location. Let's see how it works now. I go with the same file pattern. You can define this file name and then you can define this, the post realization that you would like to include. We can also include the hour, minute, second, and all of them, which is how we simply add more post realizations when we send the data. The hour, minute, second is also. We keep on adding the file that we're sending. This we do in order to keep the file unique on a daily basis. Suppose it will be very easy for me to go back to my FTP location and then check how many files. That is something that we have received on a daily basis of them. It's going to be very easy. The system can pick up that. The system can pick up the up to date file. That can be a good location. That's why we do this. And here we have a extract. And here tracking, extraction, audit trail, and all of them, data extension extract. We have plenty of them. What we are basically doing is extracting the tracking information we can pick up directly. Suppose if you have the data extension where you have all the analytics information, you can click on data extension here. And when I go to the next step, we just have to give the external key of a data extension here. We just have to give the data extension an external key and then it will be extracting all of those information that we have in a data extension. Now, since we are doing the tracking extract, we just have to click on this. You go to the next step. In the configurations, we have to define each and every step. Ruling range. Suppose if you have to keep the data, keep on ruling for every 7 days, for the past 7 days. Tomorrow, from past 7 days. If you like to keep on ruling, then you have to pick up this ruling range. That means if I say 1 day, it will take the 1 day data. And if I say tomorrow, and this will be keep on ruling, tomorrow will be a previous day. And day after tomorrow will be previous day. Day after tomorrow, it will keep on ruling. If I say a specific range, it's going to be really 1 day. Suppose if I have to pull the data, from 1st of March till date, this is going to be specific range. This will not be keep on ruling. Now I'll just keep the ruling range as a 7 days. For the past 7 days, it will be extracting the data and send it to a third-party system. Account IDs are nothing but your business MID. We can just simply copy this and then put it here. Whichever MID that they're using, they're trying to extract the data. And attributes. We don't need to give these attributes and also exclude. We can keep it blank. We don't really use them. When we probably use our data extensions, even though we don't need it. I have to reduce, like in case if you'd like to pick up only particular attribute in the extract. Suppose if I have to pick up only opens and if I have to send only the extraction, I can give the attributes here. And same it goes with the text qualifier. Suppose if there are any like double quotes that we need to consider here, we can include those like double quote, like data, something like a date or something like that. If you have any double quote like attribute in the extraction, we can include it by 99%. We don't need to like mention these two of these columns. We can keep it blank. Now that the data that we're encoding, we have ASCII, we have a UTF-8, UTF-16, all of them. We go with the default. There's nothing need to be changed here. And column B will limit those again. We can keep it as a default. We don't need to change anything. If you have to send a file in the pipe or tab or comma, you can change it. It depends on how the third-party system is also like looking up for the data. Your third-party system may like accept only UTF-8. Your third-party system owner will tell you, can you please send the file in UTF format? Here we have the option to change it. But majority of the cases this, we don't need to change the encoding. We don't need to worry about it because some systems specifically cannot take the UTF-16 or ASCII file, or it may be not supporting that part of time. We can change it to UTF-8 and then we can send the file. We can check that if the system can process that data that we're sending. And suppose if you would like to extract the data of an email that you have already sent, or each and every email has the external key for it. Like how we have a data, like how we have a unique data. Suppose if I open this email which I have printed, it will have a unique external key or a customer key, we call it. Here is a customer key. We copy this customer key and we put it here. And this if the tracking data for this particular definition key will be extracted and sent to the active location. Or this is you can put the external key of a particular email only if you'd like to extract this particular email data. I don't. It is really up to you like if you would like to give this information and what is the file that we are trying to send it. We have three of these options, CSV and XML and that. Then send ID. Suppose if you'd like to extract the data of a particular job ID, we can also pick up the job ID here from a tracking. I can copy any of the job ID and then I can keep it here. This is send. ID is nothing but a job ID. We will extract this particular tracking information. It has a 0 email that has been triggered. Probably like if I use this email, if I use this job ID, there are 2 emails that has been sent. This tracking information will be extracted and it will be sent to the third party system. If you want to like extract the entire data, we don't need to keep this email and the send ID. We can keep the text quality for blank and then time zone. We can just keep it based on the time frame that you would like to send it to the third party system. This is the basic configuration, pretty much straightforward. Account ID, and then we can leave the attribute and the text qualifier. Character, encoding column delimiter is nothing but the itab and comma, all of them. This is a kind of a format that we will keep it in the Excel sheet we assembled. We can go always with the default. It will have like all the columns like separately, like in header, wise, like if you have open, it will have a click and then it will have a data. We can always go with the default option. We give this option. We give this information like our email, send definition, or also send ID only if it's full. Otherwise, we can keep it blank. And then we have a format as a CSV. Now, here we have the attributes. Whichever something that I would like to pick up, whichever something that I would like to send it to, I don't want to send a test. I don't want to send a test. I don't want to send the. If I have to include unique links, unique opens and all of them, I can pick up each and every attributes that I can pick up from here and click on next. In the summary, it's going to show like what is the entire configuration that we have done. Here we can just straight away click on and finish. I think my system is logged off or something. That's the reason it's not saving it. Probably I have to refresh it and then wait for mismatch. This is how we configure the data extraction. When I'm going to do this, please make a copy of this file because we will have to give this file a name like the file transfers. We'll just usually copy this next step here. I'm not changing anything. I want this for holding range. That's what I'm going to keep it blank. And then I just include the unique open and unique send. Whichever the fields that you would like to send it to, with that, my systems, which is up to people. Next on summary. Now it's on here. Now how the Marketing Cloud works is same procedure. Here we have the Marketing Cloud and here we have our FTP location. Whenever we have to send the data from MNC Marketing Cloud FTP location, we can just directly export it and send it. But we have something called Save Yours in between two of this. It's called Save Yours. The Save Yours is another security location we have on Marketing Cloud. It's the main purpose of creating a Save Yours is that we cannot access the Save Yours link with a username and password. This is how it's been set up in the Marketing Cloud. We don't really access the Save Yours. Whenever we do the extraction for the security purpose, Marketing Cloud will always send the file to Save Yours. From our Save Yours, we have to pick up that file and send it to a location. Here we have a data extract. Here we have a file transfer. System whenever we do, the data extraction system will not directly extract in the third-party location. There's the one more step that we have to do. It's called file transfer. First thing we do extraction. Whenever it completes, it always go to a Save Yours. It's a security location that we have in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. We cannot access like using these applications, like if we don't have a username and password, we get access to the Salesforce. From the Salesforce, we need to pick up the file that has been extracted. And then using a file transfer, we are going to send that file to it's not like the location. This is a process. This is by default. This is how we have the setup. This is for the security purpose that we have it in the Marketing Cloud. Whenever we do the extraction, it doesn't go to a FTP like a directly FTP. It always goes to a Salesforce. And here there is a default or retention period. We have like whatever the files that we have here in the Salesforce, every 24 days it will be deleted. We have to do this data transfer operation like within this 24 days. The ultimate default retention period for the Salesforce is 24 days. There's something that you can definitely expect in the exams. Whenever we go for certifications, you can definitely expect the set of questions like what is the Salesforce and what is the retention period for the Salesforce and all of them. Even in the interview and also like in the certifications, they expect you to know about the Salesforce. 24 days is a default retention period that we have for Salesforce now. Perfect. Now, if I go back to automation, I'm going to configure this now for the file transfer. Data transfer is going to complete. My Salesforce, that file goes to a Salesforce. From a Salesforce, I'm going to pick up that file and send it to a FTP location. Let's click on choose. Let's create a new file transfer underscore 1A. File transfer can do two things. One, it can send the file and also it can receive the file. What are we trying to do here? It's sending the file. We are going to move a file from a Salesforce to a third-party location. We have to pick up this one. In case if you are getting a file from a third-party system that's incoming, we have to use the managed file. File transfer can do two operations. One, it can export the data and also import the data. What we are trying to do now is importing the data, exporting the data. We have to pick up this option. Here the file pattern has to be same as what you have given in the data extraction activity. I think I have copied it somewhere. Here I have. Let's copy this and put it. If I don't give this file name, my system will prove an error. System will also say that I cannot find this file in the Salesforce. It has to be like a great name that we have given the data extraction. That's something that we have to make sure. And here is the destination where I have to send this data. Suppose if I say like I have to send this to an expo directory and pick up the destination here, you might have also registered your external applications or Google Analytics. Just pick up that location which you have registered, and to this location, the file will be sent to it. We'll talk about this in a little later, or encrypting, decrypting, and all of them. This is how we send the data now. Click on next and then finish it. Now my row is ready. Suppose if I click on run once, let's select all activities and click on run. Now my automation is started running. I manually activated this automation all. If you have to do it like initiative wise, you have to configure it. Now my first step is completed. There is no issue. Let's wait for the second step to complete. Once this is completed, my system would have extracted the data. It went to a safe house. Our file transfer will pick up that file from a safe house and then it will send to the file location. We can, In real time, we can check if the file has been sent to the FTP location or not. We use this automation to view very much like in a data processing, like if you are you are a developer or a consultant or your organization. We use these automations to view quite frequently. It's really important topic. And when you go for administration, consultation and development, developer certifications, you can expect a lot of questions from Automation Studio. For email specialist exam, you may not expect many questions here in Automation Studio, but many especially go for consultant and developer certifications. Oh, I can see both. The job has been completely. Now let's go back to file location here. I'll just refresh this account. I just used the exported location. Now let's go to my export folder and see my data here. This has been sent today. You can see like a 7-Eleven system type. This is how we send the data. Now the file has been sent to this location. Instead of we send this data to this location, we can also pick up any other external left location. System will automatically pick up the file. All this is how we send the data. Any question here before we proceed further? There I can check the error if any failure happened in the automation. Here we can check. It will be throwing an error. If it's not finding the file, if it's throwing an error, it will be something that we can check in the activity tab itself directly. Here it says like a transfer completed. If there's any other error, and it will be the information. Apart from that, is there an error log available only? Now we have only this activity. This is a place where we can check what is the issue and all of them. We can just simply trigger the email to the customers and stakeholders. Whenever the job is getting failed. Perfect. Whenever. One more thing. For this, whenever you include your email address here, whenever there's an error, you will get a CSV file. Or suppose if you are doing an import exactly, it will give you a kind of a stats how many data has been imported and how many of them is not included. Why it's not imported? That kind of a stats that we get here. But you will get it in the CSV format through the email. That's something we can get, but overall like a general activity. The status we will be able to check under the activity tab. Any questions in this workflow and the flows that we have set up? Well, I have one question for you. If I wanted to connect Automation Studio to Salesforce, CDP or to Salesforce, how would I do the SKU query or how would I do that? It wouldn't be through data extract, correct? It won't be data extract. In that case, it would be SQL activity. I can use the SQL here. I'm going to do the data extraction. I can do the SQL and the same way I can also transfer the file to my wherever the third party system. I would like to send it, but the flow will be the same. We use a file transfer and just before that we use the SQL. When you select the SQL, what would happen? It would then just connect to the CDP or, depending on what you're using, Salesforce, Sales Cloud or something along those lines. That's something. We cannot send this file directly to a Sales Cloud or Service Cloud or a Salesforce CDP. That doesn't work in that way. We cannot send directly to a particular instance like other Salesforce products. It works only with the FTP location. We have a FTP location. That's where we can send it. And from that FTP location, any number of systems can access the file. In order to send the file and receive the file to a platform directly, automation is not the best way. We use the synchronized, the integration that we have done it. That's something that we have to use it. But that also we cannot use it for sending data and receiving the data. We have to configure probably API that we trigger, and it will probably send the data to a third party like applications, like a Salesforce products instead of SQL. We don't need any of this. I can directly use a script activity. There is something I don't have access to this script activity. I can include them. The script activity is super powerful. It can extract the data and it can also send the data to a third-party system through a DPA call. That's something that we can configure it directly here in the Automation Studio. Perfect. Script activities for only service, like JavaScript or any other AMP script, also can be used. We can also include AMP script in the script activities, but it's really for running on the server side. Perfect. Great. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.